Good morning, Grace Point. I am here outside in my backyard because I'm working on a project. I don't know if you can see this, but there are some bricks here that I am putting. I'm putting them back in place. So you see, I've done some of these things here, and then you get to this point, and then you see where they're all kind of messy, jagged. See, I gotta redo those because over time the ground has made them kind of stumble about, so it has to be redone. I have a rebuilding project, and of course I can't do this by myself, so I have a helper. This is Kenna.
Hi.
This is my helper, Kenna. Don't worry, I know it's not that exciting, so I'm not going to talk a lot about this project because really it's just taking some dirt that I have left over from another yard project, putting some under these bricks and reorganizing it so that my bricks can be walked on again, because right now you can't even really walk on them. Rebuilding a little patio little thing isn't that exciting. What is exciting is when God rebuilds his people, and that's what we're about to get into in our sermons in June. We're going to be covering the temple period, which is the last section of the Old Testament. Believe it or not, we're almost finished. We've almost walked through all of those big moments in the Old Testament over these last 6 months. But June is about temple. It's about the rebuilding project. You've got Ezra, which is what we'll be covering this upcoming Sunday. Then you've got Esther, then you've got Nehemiah. We're going to go in that order because that's the order that it happens in history throughout time. I'll explain all of that later. But we also have some main characters in there besides Ezra, Esther, and Nehemiah. We also have Haggai, we've got Zechariah, and we've got Malachi. These 6 people are going to be helping to rebuild not just a patio, but they're going to rebuild the walls that have been destroyed by the Babylonians. And they're going to try to figure out how to come back together after an exile. It's a rebuilding period after an exile. And so I don't know if I love exile just as much as I like temple. There's a lot of good stuff in exile. I think particularly because in these last few years we feel like we have been in an exile and we are exilic people as Christians. But man, there's a lot of good stuff there. But there's a lot of good stuff in the temple period where God starts to bring things back. He starts to turn things around. So this Sunday we're going to talk about the signs of a godly renewal. How do you know when renewal is happening? We're going to see some of those signs as we study the book of Ezra. And so my encouragement to you, I'm going to try to walk through the first 6 chapters of Ezra. What you might want to do as you're preparing for the sermon is check out Ezra chapter 7 to the end of the book. Ezra chapter 7, that's actually when Ezra shows up. Ezra doesn't actually show up in the first few chapters, but he shows up in Ezra 7. And read those couple chapters, 7, 8, 9, 10, and notice what sort of person Ezra is and the sorts of things that he does. He's got a heart of a leader, man. God is raising him up, and God does a lot of really cool stuff in the temple period. So get ready this week. This month we're going to hear a sermon on Ezra. We're going to hear a sermon on Esther. We're going to hear a sermon on Nehemiah, and then we've got a guest speaker, an Old Testament professor, is going to speak to us, preach to us at the end of June, which I'm looking forward to. So prepare your hearts, get into God's Word this week, and I can't wait to see you on Sunday.